Good morning. In the news this morning, I'm sharing some of my favorite stretches. These are static stretches that I will do after a workout that will help open up my hips, my body a little bit more so that I can have better squat form. It'll help me with my deadlift form. It'll help me activate my glutes. It'll also open up my hips, my lower back, my ankles, calves, all of that good stuff to help the mobility for my compound lifts. These stretches have also really helped my SI pain and hip pain disappear. Since I do so much work, a lot of people have come to me and complained about hip flexor tightness, pain in their sacroiliac joint, lower back pain. Obviously, that's super common. Shortened hip flexors, psoas muscles, tight quads, tight IT bands, and at the end of the day, you're not doing the right mobility work, and you're doing too much strength training, and your daily activity is just shortening up all your muscles so that you are just a tight ball of muscle fibers and fascia. So this is going to get in the way of your lifts, especially your squats, your deadlifts, your lunges, accessing your glutes, and having your hip flexors take over in a lot of exercises that they should not be having any say in. So these are stretches that I do again at the end of my workout. I do some dynamic movements at the beginning of a workout, which I will make a video about at a later point to help mobilize myself before I start training. But these are strict movements that I do after a workout, and I want to share them with you guys because I get so many questions about it, and I figured it would just be easier to show you versus tell you. So I'm going to do a voice recording and explain what these are as you see me doing them in the gym. So thank you for watching. So the first stretch that we're doing is for the hip flexors. This is a huge muscle group that gets super tight super quickly. Basically, if you sit for a long time, for most of the day, your hip flexors are in a shortened position and they're going to tighten up. In the clip you're seeing right here, I'm stretching my left hip flexor. The hip flexor, or the psoas, runs through the top of your quad, up through your hip, and then into your abdominals. So my left hip flexor is getting the stretch here. What I'm doing is actually pushing my left glute through my hip to accentuate the stretch. So then I switch sides. So now I'm stretching my right hip flexor. So I'm actually pushing my hips actively. I'm squeezing my right glute and pushing my hips forward to accentuate the stretch into my right hip flexor even more intensely. You can't see it in this video, but I'm actually raising the arm of the leg that I'm stretching up and reaching up and back to stretch through my abdominals, which you can see because I'm putting my hand on them right now. I love this stretch, and I will actually do it throughout the day to relieve any tension on my lower back. So now I'm switching into a glute and hip flexor stretch. So my right leg is forward, my right glute is stretching, and my left hip flexor is stretching. I am, again, pushing my hips forward, trying to let my body's weight just rest into the stretch. I'm not aggressively trying to stretch my muscle at all. I'm letting gravity do its thing. So now I'm going to switch sides, and my right glutes are going to be stretching. I, again, am pushing my hips forward, and I'm trying to stretch through the top of my glute all the way around and underneath where my glute and my hamstring connects. It feels really good to get a deep stretch into this. Just take deep breaths and let gravity do its thing. Moving right into the next stretch, I am focusing more on my glutes in this one. Now I'm starting off with my hands flat on the ground, but for a more intense stretch, if your body is open to it, you can get down onto your forearms. So you're really opening up your hip, your inner adductor, and your glute on the left side, or whatever leg you happen to have in front. If you think about it, this form is really similar to what it's like to be in a deep squat on one side of your body. My knee is in almost full flexion, my glutes are completely extended, and my lower back is getting a little bit of a stretch, but this is a great way to actually practice deep squat one side at a time, just for mobility. I would actually recommend holding each of these stretches for a minimum of 90 seconds. That might seem like an eternity, but honestly, just breathing and enjoying the process of seeing your body open up into the stretches is really enjoyable after a while. Okay, so now I'm doing my right side. Again, this is opening up my right glute, my right adductor, and it feels really good. Moving right into the next stretch. This is called a pigeon pose, and I am focusing on my glute max, my glute min, and my IT band on the leg that's in front, so that would be my right leg. You can't see it on this side, but I'm trying to get the cheek of whatever glute is being stretched onto the floor. Sometimes it's actually helpful to put a yoga block underneath that side to give it a little bit more support. I don't exactly need that, but I'm working on getting that side to hit the ground, as you can see on my left side. Taking really deep breaths, allowing the entire glute to stretch, completely elongate. If your lower back is open, you can lean even more, get even lower, getting the body to stretch all the way from your lumbar spine down through your glute max, your glute min, and then into your IT band, which runs down the side of your quad. So again, I'm taking really deep breaths, I'm breathing into the stretch, and I'm just letting my body sort of settle and stretch as I'm sitting here in this pose. The next form is a deep squat. Now this was really difficult for me to get to, and that was mostly because my lower back was tight as well as my calves and my ankles. So I would put another mat underneath my heels so that my heels were elevated and it would be easier for me to get into this form. As I am in it, I'm taking my hands into like a prayer position and using my elbows to push my knees apart. So not only am I stretching my lower back, but I'm also opening up my hips. All right, the last stretch, hamstrings. You're gonna see in a second how awesome I am at this stretch. My hamstrings are really, really tight. And for me, this is one of the main reasons why my lower back can have pain on a regular basis. Not so much anymore, but it definitely happens. And for most people, again, who sit, who have tight hamstrings, a big cause of lower back pain. So I am just taking the time to stretch the back of my hamstrings. Yes, this is after a workout, so they should be more warmed up. They're clearly really, really shortened. I actually have my knee bent on the leg that I'm stretching, which now is the left leg. My knee is bent because I want to make sure that I'm stretching up through the entire hamstring from the point where it connects behind my knee to the point where it meets my glute. And I find if I lock my knee, I'm only getting a stretch in the lower part of my hamstring, and that's probably because they are so tight. So I bend my knee to make sure I'm stretching throughout the entire muscle. I'm just taking really deep breaths, sitting here and letting my body just melt into gravity.
So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and got some value out of it. Implement these stretches, take the time to do it, breathe through it, don't rush through it, don't push through it, just let your body naturally stretch. And I promise you, if you consistently do these, like every day, at least every other day, just commit to doing it weekly, you will see an improvement and opening in your lower body. And I hope that it helps your lifts. So comment below if you're giving them a try. Let me know how it's going. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys.